when two systems are in resonance, less energy and information is lost between them. That really resonated with how we wanted to show up in relationship. We didn't want to waste energy or information passing between us. We wanted to make it as easy and as frictionless as possible. Welcome back to The Experience of We. I'm Matthew.
I'm Naomi, and we are beginning a new series called Relational Word of the Day, where basically we take a word that we find useful in exploring and understanding relationship, and we explore it together.
Mm-hmm. And so one of the reason that we are introducing new relational vocabulary is because we noticed that a lot of relational language seems to be highly conceptual, by which I mean it tells us what we should think. It tells us how we are supposed to feel. It seems like a lot of relational knowledge became rules-based, when in fact our relationships happen between bodies. Connection is an embodied experience. And so we are trying to bring embodiment back to relational language, not to discard concept. It really is important for our interpretations to match our embodied experience. And we need to integrate concept and embodiment. And that's what we're trying to do through our relational vocabulary.
Yeah. When Matthew and I started building our relationship together and also experiencing connection with others, we found that there were words and ways of talking about things that felt better in our bodies, that felt safer. Mm-hmm. And by contrast, words and orientations and ways of talking about things that felt less safe, that felt like they increased our tension and they increased our sense of separation from the person we were talking to. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of default language happens on a binary. Mm-hmm. Agree, disagree, right, wrong. And what we found over time is that things we agreed on, one of us would have an updated perspective at some point. Things that we thought were bad sometimes became the most appropriate thing to the moment.
Yeah, like one time Naomi wanted me to start eating less pizza.
I did.
And that felt bad to me. That was wrong. I did not agree with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And those binaries would have kept me in a place of thinking that I should eat pizza whenever I want to. Right? I'm right and you're wrong.
Yeah.
And there's not much space for growth in a binary system.
Yeah. Just to illustrate it further, and also because it's fun to talk about. One time, so when we say I want Matthew to eat less pizza, pizza was a main food group for Matthew.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, pizza less than once a week was pretty threatening to me.
Yeah, it was. And one time as we were having this do-si-do of wills, shall we say, one day I was getting like a poke bowl, I think.
Oh no, not okay. This is this is a funny but not flattering story. But yeah, please.
Thank you.
Yeah, poke bowl is sushi.
It's sushi. It's raw fish on some greens and rice with a sauce. Mm-hmm. And Matthew was getting pizza, and I was on this quest to dissuade him from having as much pizza. And Matthew made the argument to me that his pizza had basically the same amount of calories as my poke bowl.
approximately the same nutritional value
Yeah.
as your Poke Bowl, is I think how I said it.
Yes,
These have approximately the same
right.
nutritional value.
Which would render my claim that he should eat less pizza wrong. Unfounded.
Oh my gosh. As you can probably tell by my reaction and our laughing, that didn't stand.
No.
That didn't stand.
Many iterations have happened since,
Yeah.
and now pizza is an occasional companion for us.
Right.
But all of that is to say, as I was bringing this to him, I was afraid of saying something that was wrong, that Matthew could prove was incorrect, that I was doing something bad by pressuring him about what he ate. And so starting to develop language that allowed us to talk about our lived experience on the spectrum, that allowed us to talk about our embodied experience and translate it into our life. Language like that became very useful.
And so to that end, the very first word of the day is one of the most important words that we have in our relationship.
And also one that we've used a lot already with you.
Yeah. And that is resonance or resonate.
Yeah.
And so would you like to talk about resonance?
So I think the first thing that I'll say is that as Matthew and I embarked on this quest to create a language that allowed us to align with our embodied experience, we really searched for places where we could find language that didn't place us on that binary. And so that led us, not surprisingly, to physics and to music. These ways of talking about things that invite curiosity and exploration and things like that. And so resonance is a word that exists across both of those domains. Do you want to take the physics perspective, or shall I?
What would you like to do?
You take it. I'll take music.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to give a full dissertation on the physics of resonance. But the essence is that when two physical systems are in resonance, energy and information can flow between them more easily with less friction, and with less need to expend energy.
Yeah, less energy is lost in translation.
Yes, when two systems are in resonance, less energy and information is lost between them. And so that really resonated with how we wanted to show up in relationship. We didn't want to waste energy or information passing between us. We wanted to make it as easy and as frictionless as possible.
Yeah, I think we've all had the experience of trying to tell someone something relatively simple and having it take a lot of energy to get it across.
Yeah. Like we and other people we know have entire translation mechanisms for people in their life that, oh, I have to talk to this person in this particular way, and I have to talk to this other person in this particular way, and I'd have to say it this way to them, and I'd have to say it this way to that person. And that's a lot of translation. That's a lot of energy spent on translation. And so we wanted to minimize that expenditure, at least between us.
Yeah, that's accurate. And bridging from physics into music, another aspect of resonance is that resonance, it pushes and pulls us the direction we were already going. Man, I'm blanking right now.
About music?
No, the way to describe pushing the phenomenon where the substance being acted upon is in resonance if it's being acted upon in a way that already takes it with its natural alignment.
Tuning forks?
Yes, tuning forks is what was coming to mind. Yeah, so if you have two tuning forks and you of the same frequency and you strike one, the other will resonate, which means that the energy will get transferred to it and it will start vibrating in concert.
Without even having to touch it.
Right.
And so that is pretty frictionless energy transference that a tuning fork can start vibrating without even being explicitly acted upon physically.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And another example of this is a guitar. When we're in resonance, it not only shares the energy between us, but it amplifies the energy within both of us. And so, in the example of a guitar, one string or one string held in tension, plucked, doesn't make a lot of sound. It doesn't have a deep sound or a rich sound. It might even be pretty hard to hear. But in a guitar, we put these strings inside a chamber, and the resonance transfers into the air and vibrates that, and it creates this rich, vibrant sound. And so resonance amplifies what we're already sharing and magnifies it.
Yeah. So resonance is both a way for energy and information to flow between us with less friction, and it's also a way to amplify what we already feel together in an embodied way. And so, using the pizza example, which feels appropriate to the moment, here's how we applied resonate to that situation. And so, and this also, I think, illustrates the flexibility of the word. So at the time, I could have said, Naomi, pizza resonates with my desire for experiencing pleasure through eating. And I noticed that it doesn't resonate with my values on transitioning towards a more healthy and less pizza intensive diet. And so I could feel those two different types of resonance in my body. If I imagined eating pizza for pleasure, that resonated. When I imagined applying my values to what I ate,
Eating pizza is a main food group.
right, I noticed less resonance. And so I could say, oh, I feel a lot of resonance of eating pizza for pleasure. And I noticed less resonance eating pizza for health, which is where my values would invite me. And so in that way, I could make a more informed decision about how I ate, how I eat now.
Yeah, and it opens up more room for negotiation. If Matthew's like, no, I don't want to eat whatever vegetables and protein you're eating. I want to eat pizza. No. One, that would be a boundary. But two, there's no space for negotiation there. There's no space for negotiation in, I'm going to have pizza tonight. The next night, I'm going to have pizza tonight.
Right. Right. If I'm always resonating towards pleasure,
Yeah.
I might eat pizza every night. And learning these different types of resonance gives, and by the way, I want to be clear, because we're describing resonance in its fullness and that there are different kinds, this wasn't a case of now I never eat pizza. It was a case of, oh, now I have an expanded capacity to think about the different reasons I would eat pizza. And there have definitely been some nights when maybe I had a rough day and I said, Naomi, I could really use the pleasure of pizza tonight.
Yeah.
And that also feels like a values-based decision.
It does feel that way to me. And at first, there were a number of nights where that pleasure, that soothing was helpful. And it's really diminished over time. Yeah, it very rarely happens now. Once recently in the creative process doing this, we were having a really rough day, and Matthew was like, Let's make tonight a pizza night.
Yeah, yeah. And I had just gotten a coupon
Yeah.
from a local place called Stop 11.
Stop along.
Stop Along. Oh, the Stop Along, right. The Stop Along.
Yeah.
They are not sponsoring this
No.
video.
No, they're not.
And also, if you live in the Wicker Park area,
They make some good pizza.
the Stop Along, or yeah, if you live in Chicago,
Yeah.
the Stop Along makes pretty good pizza.
Yeah.
And so, and so, to sort of begin wrapping up,
Indeed.
resonance, using resonance as a part of our relational vocabulary, expands our capacity to have an embodied experience of our shared moments, our shared interests, our shared decision making. It allows us to check in with different parts of ourselves, different values or different expressions of values, and just notice how simulating certain decisions feels in our body. How much resonance do we feel with a particular decision? And how do we notice that resonance changes over time? There are things that resonated deeply with Naomi and I at the beginning of our relationship that don't resonate now.
Yeah, yeah. And again, this is one of the reasons why using resonance rather than something being right is so helpful, because our identity doesn't get attached to a certain orientation to something. It invites change. And so, yeah, resonance ends up being a super useful word in understanding our day-to-day experience and our relational experience.
Yeah, yeah, and because it's spectrum based, we can say, I notice a lot of resonance. I notice a little resonance. I notice, medium resonance. You can put numbers to it too if you want to, but you can see how agree and disagree. Those are two choices. But by saying I resonate strongly, or I notice, right, strong embodied resonance, or I notice minimal, or I don't notice any at all, that gives us a chance to sort of calibrate what we are feeling. And so I could feel a lot of resonance for something, and you could feel no resonance or mild resonance with it. And then that becomes a point of discussion, especially if shared decision making is involved.
Yeah.
So
So, yeah, that is why the word resonance has come up so much already in what we say to each other and how we respond to you in comments, because it's very useful.
yeah,
So, I feel complete. How about you?
I feel complete as well.
All right. Well, this was word of the day, number 1, resonance, and we will see you for more.
Bye for now.
Bye.